What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy, and if you haven't heard me say this before, I have quite a few problems with the modern music industry, but I can't get into all of that right now because it would take me forever. But one thing in particular that I had a very recent encounter with is, I guess, radio edits, for lack of a better word, or more specifically, the fact that a lot of songs that used to be popular at one time, but now aren't so popular, but then these radio stations will throw in just to act like they have some variety and that kind of stuff, and they're not always just playing the most recent stuff. These songs in particular, it seems like they will frequently shorten part of them. Anywho, but they'll shorten these songs for like no apparent reason. Like just recently I was listening to kind of a pop radio station. I don't know if I'd call it quite a top 40, but they play a mix of what is and has been popular, within the past decade-ish, or especially within the past 5 years. But anyway, so this radio station was playing the song Locked Out of Heaven from Bruno Mars. And, I mean, I kind of enjoy that song. I heard it a lot at one point when it was more popular. So I know that there's a general progression to the song. The problem was, it's like they decided to just cut out the entire second verse for some completely unknown reason. And what bothers me about this is that, the older songs that very recent listeners might not be as familiar with, they get cut out like this. They get, shortened, I guess, like that. And so you might get a newer listener used to hearing it a particular way, and they might get interested in the song, and then I guess if they get it, it's not necessarily a bad thing for them to suddenly hear extra, but if there's a part of the song that got cut out where those lyrics are something that they don't like as much, then I don't know, it's kind of deceptive that way. And also I think it's just odd that you would cut an entire segment out of a song, especially an entire verse out of a song, for no apparent reason. Like, why? And there are a couple of other things that radio stations will do to edit songs like that. Like, there are certain words that will get edited out, or, where you won't be able to hear them because they just, make it quiet instead of trying to find any kind of replacement word or something for that, which I think that's just lazy, but whatever. I think that's more so on, the studios making these songs than it is the actual radio stations. But, some of the words that'll get left out, it's just okay, in and of themselves, they're not really that bad. I mean, okay, for example, there's the song Rockstar from Nickelback. Anytime I've heard that on the radio in the past, decade, it seems, there's a particular phrase in there that, granted, isn't exactly the most appropriate for all ages, but especially in the original version of the song, you'll hear them say this one phrase where it says something like, the girls come easy and the drugs come cheap, and they'll kind of leave out the word girls and the word drugs within the radio edit, which kind of leaves me confused. Honestly, I think it would be better in that case to just leave out a segment of the song if you think it's that inappropriate. But then there are other songs where it's they leave a part out that it makes absolutely no sense because it doesn't seem like it's any kind of inappropriate. And so, I don't know, it just seems so arbitrary, these things that'll get left out of certain songs. But, I don't know. I guess it's not really a big deal in the grand scheme of things. It's just something that I don't know. I find it kind of bothers me a little bit because you'll have people that aren't familiar with these songs that will hear them on the radio in their edited versions like this, and you talk to them about the song knowing better, hearing the original version, and you try and tell them that there's this one particular part of the song that's left out or whatever. I don't know. I feel like it's just odd. It's first off creating unnecessary, sometimes kind of arguments, debates, whatever, about whether or not a song is a particular way. But it also, I think, just kind of discredits or shortchanges some of these songs that have been around a little while and, have sort of lasted through the years a little bit more. Because they're not super popular anymore, but they're still well known enough that they get playtime on the radio. But of course, these radio stations want to make that shorter to get to the new, air quote, better stuff that they're trying to promote and push. And I think that's kind of symptomatic of the bigger problem with mainline radio stations these days. Is just they push for particular songs and they'll kind of shortchange others just because these songs are a certain way, or because it's not within their particular niche that they want to promote or something like that. I don't know. It's weird. It's just a whole big confusing mess that I don't even really know that much about. But stuff like this is part of the reason why it's like I don't even really bother with listening to the radio most of the time. I mean, I want to because, I like hearing new stuff and getting introduced to new songs or new artists or something like that, but it seems to me that radio is an unreliable, not so trustworthy way of actually getting the full spectrum of what's out there. And sometimes not even the full extent of a particular song or artist that's out there. Sometimes an artist or band will get kind of pigeonholed within these radio stations to certain types of songs. Like, everybody thinks Nickelback sounds the exact same all the time. If you actually listened to, like, their albums and the, actual collection of their music, they have stuff that sounds different. Sure, they have some songs that sound similar, but you do enough songs, and there's gonna be some overlap sometimes. I mean, I know Skillet has a particular word or phrase that they like to repeat sometimes in a couple of their songs, or, that's the thing. There's only so many different ways that songs can sound, especially if you limit them to a particular genre. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, that's just kind of what was on my mind as I was listening to the radio lately and thinking about why in the world would they cut out the second verse of Locked Out of Heaven from Bruno Mars. So anyway, that's really all I got. This is just kind of me going off the top of my head here for this one. But anyway, I hope you're all doing well. As always, like and share if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to get updates when I post new stuff. Leave comments below with your thoughts on other things you want me to talk about. If you want me to get more into problems I have with the modern music industry, or just any other random topic that you want me to cover, let me know down below. While you're on your way there, you can look at the description. That'll have information on different ways to keep up and interact with my YouTube channel, my social media stuff. I've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All that is in the description down there. And yeah, that really about does it. So, like I said, I hope you're all doing well, and hopefully I will see you next time. Stay cool, people.